Found this tank. This is an air tank, and it already has a couple of feet on it, so I don't have to put feet, build feet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this, about so long, and weld it across the bottom of those feet, and maybe make a smaller piece to go on the back to raise it up a little bit. I was thinking about taking this handle off, and I said, no, I'm going to leave it on here because I always have a problem picking these things up. I was watching a gentleman I mentioned before. If I can remember, I'll put the link to his channel in the description. Makin something from Nuthin, and it's spelled M-A-K-N S-O-M-E-T-H-N, like that. It's not, it's kind of slangy, but anyway, when he built his let me think for a second. When he built his forge, he used hinges off of a grill like this one right here, and it works really well for him. I have two. I don't know if I can use two or not. This is a grill that I picked up for free. Somebody was getting rid of, and you can see why it's rusting out down there. But he used an air tank similar to this one, maybe a little bigger. But this is what I'm going to use. If you remember a couple of videos back, I made an air tank out of a propane tank, and it works better for me than this thing does. So I'm going to use it for an air tank, and I'm going to take this and turn it into the forge. And what I want to do is I'm going to remove probably this end. Yeah, I'm going to remove this end, and I'm going to cut a square door in right along here. The bottom is going to be flat, so when you're looking inside of it, the work area will go in like this. It's going to be flat, and then it's going to have a hole somewhere around here. This is probably too far back. I might end up having to take this handle off anyway. You want to put the hole. If I end up putting a hole on this end here, square hole on this end here to make longer things like swords and stuff, I'll probably end up putting two. I want to put two burners, so I'll end up with a hole here and a hole here. If not, I'll probably put a hole, just a hole here. So that's what I'm probably going to do, is put a hole here from an angle. That way I don't have to cut this off. But I still may cut this off and put it on the door. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud. When the other gentleman, something from Nuthin, did his, he took this handle off and put it on here for a door handle, and then he put a lever right here to lock the door. I'm basically going off of his design, so we'll see what I do. This here is actually supposed to be the front, so I may end up removing this and welding a piece of metal in there so I can cut this off enough to have a hinge. Also have another grill, but that's a propane grill. I don't think I want to chop off the hinge on that. But that's what I'm planning on doing. I'm making another furnace out of that and making a forge out of this. Okay. I've been doing some thinking, and I think I'm gonna cut it along this weld right here. I'm gonna cut it along this weld right here on this side of the weld, and that's going to be the door. And then on the front here, I'm going to cut along the top of this ding dong here and come over about an inch on both sides, and then an inch along the bottom, and that's going to be the square. And like I said, the bottom is going to be flat with my work to sit on them. So I'm probably going to make some refractory brick and put in there myself, maybe one long refractory brick. I'm going to make some sodium silicate and sand and make a refractory brick, and it's going to go from the back end to the front end, but I don't know how that's going to work out until I get the insulation to go on the inside. KOA wool, KO wool, ceramic wool, ceramic insulation, that's what it is. Anyway, and you just stick it to the inside with sodium silicate, and if I get to 1 inch, it'll be 2 layers. If it's 2 inch, it'll probably be 1 layer. I'm not sure yet. So I'm gonna break out the angle grinder and go ahead and cut along the edge of that weld and get it ready to go. Alright, came out here and cut the top, well, the front of the air tank off. Now I'm gonna wire wheel it down and get this debris off the edges here, and it's pretty clean on the inside for the most part. Then I'm going to cut a piece of that bar there to weld across the front here, and a piece to go across the back for some support. Might remove that lip right there, I don't know. Anyway, it's going to sit like this, and this is going to be the door. I'm going to cut a square hole in it about right there. I'm going to mount it right here. And, I want to use steel, the ceramic wool in here to insulate it. And I'm probably going to lay some bricks in here or something, get some fire bricks and lay them in the bottom after I put the first inch inside there. And this is one of the reasons I made the sodium silicate you've seen in my previous videos, so that I can use it for an adhesive to adhere the ceramic wool to the inside of the tank here. Alright, I'm going to use my grinder with my flappy disc here to sand off these edges, and be back with the next step. Okay, I've deburred the tank, cleaned the lid up a little bit. That inside ring that was inside the tank, it just popped right out. I assume it's welded to the top, so I ain't worried about it. You see right here, I got a piece of that tube right here. I cut it, and then I'm going to clean them both up and weld these together right in there, so that'll hold it up off the floor. It's kind of gives it a heat buffer. And I cut a small piece for back here. It's just to get the back end to match the front end. Since I've already had these feet on here, I'm just going to use them and weld it to the tube. I still haven't decided yet if I want to cut a hole back here, like right here, put a piece of pipe there with some screws in the side to hold my burner in here. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with this. I might just put a plug in it for now. I don't really have any future plans for it that I know of. I might just go ahead and cut it off and weld a piece of scrap over it before I put the insulation in. That's probably a couple weeks away anyway. So, like I said, this one's going to be a forge. It's going to be like this. It's going to have 2 inches of ceramic wool in here, fire brick in the bottom. The burner is going to come in from the top. I'm going to have a piece of pipe here with bolts in the side to mount the burner into. I'm currently investigating making a new burner type that might get a little bit hotter and maybe not use so much propane. We'll see how that turns out, but that's how far I've gotten so far. I'm just taking my time on this. We'll be back with more later. Alright, I welded the grill hinge on here. I don't have it sitting very level, but Works pretty good. I had to heat this up right here and bend it in a little bit to get it to shut properly. Doesn't line up very well. That's why I'm gonna have to put a latch over here so that I can catch it and line it up good. The tank apparently warped whenever they welded this thick bead on here. So it wasn't exactly round whenever I cut this off. I had a problem cutting this off because it wanted to twist on me. You know, just like that whenever I cut the top off. So I had to beat it back in shape. I got it lined up pretty good now. And once I get the latch on the outside over here, I think it'll be better. But anyway, I got it welded pretty good to here and here. I was thinking I was going to grind this paint off, but I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and hook the torch up and just let the torch burn the paint off. It'll be easier. And I still have to cut the hole in the cover here, and I have to get ceramic wool to go inside of it. That's another project.